heart if you promise and you won't break it. I'ma keep it real with everyone, it ain't no faking. I was trying to give it to you, you was trying to take it. And you cannot run from reality, gotta face it. Heart if you promise and you won't break it. I'ma keep it real with everyone, it ain't no faking. Ain't talk crazy, don't play with me, I'm baby. I'm watching in plain view, you caught up and tangled in the web of the world. I wish I could save you. Now you're an angel, but street life, it trained you. Now listen to your girl. Don't let the game keep playing you. Take a breather nice and slow. I know it feels like they got the eyes in the skull. Why you balance so tight, bro? Trying to get the grip you and I can go to. Promise smell of roses. You can have it all if you focus. House really flowing lovely. But first, yeah, you gotta trust me, yeah. Baby, when the hype get out, superficial people in your life get out. Same one say I hit you right back out. Told you they wasn't on the right track, so but I kinda like that now. Ain't no distraction, get your sight back out. If you wanna fight back, so let me shut up, I'm talking in circles. I'm watching in plain view, you caught up and tangled in the web of the world. I wish I could save you. Now you're an angel, but street life, it trained you. Now listen to your girl. Don't let the game keep playing you. All right, what's going on, guys? How are you guys doing, Conscious Crew? 30 of y'all in the building. That means that all 31 of y'all need to be hitting this thumbs up. Okay, this helps with my goddamn algorithm. What's going on, Trav? Hey, Chocolate Bay. What's going on, Renee Crimson? That is a very interesting name. Hey, Nutritionist, what's going on, Mod? So you guys already know what this video is about, okay? I am just honestly getting my damn brain together because I've been asleep. I ain't go to bed till like 5 in the morning. Had a long night, a good night, but a long night. And I've been having a pretty solid weekend. What's going on? Yes, bitch, entertainment. You know what? Yes, bitch. Grah, you need to stay around because I might want to bring you into the stream. Hey, Trav, what's going on, stranger? Hi, my friend Travis from Atlanta. He cut his dookie braids off, y'all. I don't know why these long-haired girls be going through these damn quarter-of-a-life crises and then they want to get bald-headed and all. I'd be like, why? I ain't take time to grow my hair to ever cut my shit. The Lord gonna have to take my hair. The Lord gonna have to take every single strand, honey, because ain't no part of my shit going nowhere, honey. No part of my stuff going nowhere. Now, my mood kind of is in a very weird place because if you guys know, I think like a month or two ago, I did a video. And I think it was that Kaya flagging video when Kaya was flagging Armand and shit. Hey, boo, I'm here if you need me. Okay, cool, boo. And I kind of segued into a situation that was going on in my life at the time, which was me and a really good friend had parted ways. And I guess just to give a context so that everybody not completely clueless. Hey, Beryl Robinson, is my best friend switched up on me, basically. You know, he had met someone. He was caught up in an entangled. You guys heard Monica's words. He got a little ahead of himself. He was feeling himself. And he was like wanting to part-time the friendship in order to, I don't know, I guess breathe life into this new situation. And the conversation felt very odd and very shocking to me. Like I didn't even think we would be having that conversation as soon as we did because the situation he was in was only a 3-week-old entanglement. And I'm just, you know, so I was just offended and I was just really, really, really pressed. Like I was really like, my feelings were so deeply hurt because I'm just like,
who switches up on, you know, one of the most significant people in their life over a 3-week situation that you are not even clear is really even going somewhere. You know, I was just really confused. So nonetheless, I called the friendship off. Now I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to take responsibility here. Some people may say I made a rash, you know, I came quick to judgment because I chose to call off the friendship. But I can't say that I regret doing so, because I'm just like, there's no way that in any substantial, strong friendship would y'all be having this conversation about someone who just stepped into one of y'all's lives and y'all only been talking for 3 weeks. Like, I was just like, that's not even ever, I never even been in a situation like that. And that's how I also knew that this ain't something that shows up in strong relationships. Like, I know friendships change. I know that people get booed up, people get impregnated, people start families, people move in together. I know that eventually in a romantic relationship, you know, because of the nature of relationships, you know, your partner takes a reasonable first place in your life, you know, so everybody else gets into formation. But that's usually when the relationship is actually elevated and growing and expanding, and not like 3 weeks in. It just still is a very bizarre thing to me. Scorpios would do that if it's meant to be. The paths will cross again. So that's the nature of this conversation, Miss Wisdom. Okay, so I called off the friendship, right? I called off the friendship at that time. I haven't spoke to this person since maybe up until like last week, right? So last week, so the friendship been canceled for about, I think, what, 2 months now? Hey, Trisha One, what's going on? Were they ever real to begin with is what would run through my mind. That's what we're going to get into. Hey, For the Artist, what's going on? You guys go and subscribe to Trisha One. My boo has a channel. For the Artist, my boo has a channel. Yes Bitch TV, my boo has a channel. Okay, you guys check them out. These are content creators in the building. So I, you know, haven't spoken, and I'm probably going to bring Yes Bitch TV into this convo, probably For the Artist too. So, because I'm gonna get y'all, I really want y'all honest perspective. Like, you know, if y'all need to give me the business, give me the goddamn business. You know, I'm not above reproach, contrary to popular belief. I know that I'm strong and beautiful and vivacious and intimidating, you know, but a girl is as meek as a kitten rug. You know, I'm as sweet as pie on these YouTube streets. There's no reason for anyone to believe that I am above reproach. Hey, the soap, what's going on? Hey, Queen of Dance, hi. So, hey, Purple Lover. So last week, now it's been two months since we ended the friendship. Last week, though, because you guys know I am deep off into spirituality, so I was praying, and my ex-friend's mother came up in my meditation. So initially, I was like, damn, you know, 2020 been a crazy ass year. People are dying and being raptured up left and goddamn right. Hey, Jazzy. And I didn't know if something maybe had happened to his mom, because, you know, I'm a very intuitive person. And when I pick up on vibes, I really try to act on them, because, you know, I kind of have a track record for being able to tune in to shit. So I was like, but damn, I don't want to go through him in order to check up on her, you know, because we're not even on speaking terms at this point. But nonetheless, I put aside my pride and I had reached out to him initially. Now, he didn't answer when I had reached out. And then later that night, I had forgot, because I deactivated my Facebook, but I still have my Messenger. And I remembered that his mom and I are friends on Facebook. So I had messaged her. And I was like, you know, I just want to check up on you. You showed up in my meditation session. I'm just sending you light and love, etc. Boom, boom, boom. So she was like, you know, I'm doing well, blah, 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 blah. You know, we chopped it up. Everything was good. So then the next day, I had decided, you know what? How am I going to talk to this boy and mama? And I can't even, talk to him that's like all the way rude, just rude and nasty. So I said, you know what? Let me put my pride aside again, because matured spiritual people are actually able to put their actual ego aside. They don't just talk about being capable of doing so. They actually put their pride and their ego aside, okay? Because one of the attributes to spiritual maturity is egolessness. One of the signs to being spiritually immature is pride and egotism, okay? Being egocentric, being egotistical, and just living from a place of pride and living from a place of ego, okay? Those are one of the telltale signs that somebody is spiritually immature. It doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that they're spiritually immature, okay? And putting your pride aside, I'm not going to act like that is a easy thing to do, because it's not. And it's damn sure even harder for men to do. And because of the nature of my spiritual work, what I've noticed even in I call them disciples. I have male and female disciples. I haven't had a lot of the same issues out of my female disciples as I have out of my male disciples. It is very difficult to how can I say this? It is very difficult because I don't want to say break the will, because that sounds very like, dictatorship. But I mean, to be honest, the nature of real spiritual work is the breaking of the will. Breaking your will is a part of that's the cross Christ is asking you to carry. In the scriptures, when Christ says, pick up your cross and carry me, okay, he's talking about your ego, okay? And everybody has a cross to bear, okay? Your cross is your ego. People have no idea how much the ego actually sabotages them in everything that they do. And a lot of people don't really understand how their ego has really been controlling their lives and ruining their lives until people like me come into their life and discern and acknowledge and point out to them where their ego is and how their ego have showed up in their parenting, how their ego has showed up in their romantic relationship, how their egotism has showed up even in their celebrity, even in their perceived positions of power. So it gets very interesting. And men, because men live in a patriarchal system, men have a very, very deep relationship to their ego. So I oftentimes have to take my male disciples through a lot more of a rigorous spiritual process than I do my female disciples. Females by nature are connected to the divine feminine. The divine feminine's nature is just a lot more submissive and a lot more emotionally present anyway, and is a lot more trusting. Okay, the divine feminine is comfortable in vulnerability, something that the divine masculine really is not. So when men have to submit, it can get interesting. And of course, this particular friend, he really started off as a student of mine, and then we kind of evolved into a brotherhood. So then we had a combo of companionship and spiritual teacher to student. Okay. And man, the work that we did was really, 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 really incredible. I mean, I'm still really impressed by what we was able to accomplish together, because despite us not being friends, the work we did together is still very apparent, on him and in his life. By far, he still has a very long way to go. But what we were able to do up until the conclusion of our friendship, I'm still very, very, very proud of, and I'm still very impressed by, because he came a long way from where I found him. When I found him, he was miserable. He was anti-men. He was a true introvert by all definition. And through the work we did together, I mean, this boy was able to get in shape. He was able to get his body together in a way that he never had before. His self-love just increased tremendously. He became a lot more extroverted. He became a lot more optimistic. I mean, even his parents have had to like literally personally, you know, talk to me throughout the years and be like, Davion, thank you so much for coming into my child life. I've never seen my son so happy. And I'm just like, hey, all glory goes to God. I'm just the messenger, you know, I'm just the vessel. And you know, I was happy to be of service to him. And that's the only reason I don't regret the friendship, as disappointed as I was by what led to the ending of our friendship, because even the friendship transcended me, you know, because first and foremost, I was there to do what God had me do in his life. I wasn't there for my own personal benefit, even though I got to benefit from, you know, being in his life. But first and foremost, this was about helping him and God. It wasn't about he and I. So who are you throwing away? I ain't throwing away nobody. Just be real. Jazzy Monet says, Empath Chronicles, you sound like an intuitive feeler perceiver. Oh, baby, 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 baby. I'm all of that, Jazzy. All of that. So, you know, oh, I done kind of got thrown off my damn story. So I reached out to him. We ain't spoken 2 months. His mama came up in my meditation. I initially went through him. He didn't answer the phone. I reached out to his mom myself on Facebook. We chopped it up. The next day, I reached out to him on Instagram, and because I'm just like, I can't reach out to his mama and not reach out to him. That just seemed weird to me, right? So I messaged him and I was like, hey, you know, I did call you last night or whatever. And he was like, he messaged me back and he said, you know, I don't know quite how to feel. And I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to speak to you right now. And I hope that you can respect that. Now, also in that him and the guy that he was trying to talk to, they are no longer together either. So when I got that response back, it confused me, because I'm just like, I don't know what you have to be confused about, you know, but whatever. And I kind of just figured that, you know, between you dealing with that situation not working out and then losing a friendship that was birthed, or the ending of the friendship was birthed out of that situation you was wanting to prioritize in the way that you did, I just felt like you must be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed, you know. I think that, you know, obviously if we sell ourselves short, hell, you know, we sell ourselves short, we get full of ourselves, we get caught up, you know, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, we get, you know, a little extra piece of coin, or we, you know, start for whatever reason, just really getting, you know, in our egos, and then the universe will come back and humble the living shit out of us. I'm somebody who don't even play with the Lord at this point. I stay humbled because, let me tell you something. For those of you who've always wondered, why is it that it seems like you can't get away with shit? Why is it that it seems like if you do anything that's out of alignment, you seem to get your behind paddled off the rip? But you watch so many other people seem to get away with murder. But when you slip and slide and you want to be a little mischievous, a little rebellious, you want to be a little risque and provocative, it seems like the Lord just don't be having it, honey. You can't even wear your dress, you know, to your knees. It got to be to your ankles. But everybody else pooching around in high heels and mini skirts, and they just having a good old time. And it's because you are sitting too close to the Lord. See, people who are out of alignment with God sit the farthest from his backhand. See, when God need to backhand a bitch, the bitch is closest to the hand of God get hit sooner, okay, than the bitches way across the room from God. So for me, I'm one of them people who I'm striving and my ethics and my morals to be aligned. That alignment brings me into the presence and the accountability, okay, of the Most High. So when I step one foot out, yeah, I feel the energetic backlash sooner than somebody who is already out of alignment, okay? Now, the people who are out of alignment, theirs coming too. But because they sit the furthest from the Lord, theirs come down the line because they are already out of reach, out of touch to begin with. So when those scriptures talk about how the Lord chastises those that he loves, yes, he's talking about that proximity. Those in the closest proximity to God are held the most accountable, okay? Now, I kind of forgot why the hell I went into that, honey. Why did I get into accountability? Bitch, I must be getting old. Why I went into that? Why did I have gone into that? I'm trying to understand. Okay, accountability. What part of the story was I in? Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So, my friend, well, my ex-friend. So, he is, so the little situation that he put before us, didn't work out. And then, he lost me in the process as well. And I used to tell him from the jump, I said, you are sitting close to God, okay? The work that we're doing in your life has amped up your vibration. And you're sitting too close to the frequency of heaven. You're not going to be able to get away with the things that you used to get away with or that you watch other people get away with. You're going to get your ass spanked when you're out of alignment, okay? And I knew that when this little dating situation popped up immediately, intuitively, God said, this is his test. And I got scared. And let me tell you something. He must have felt that I got scared for him, because I remember the first week him and his boy started talking, we was on the phone one night and he said, Davion, are you afraid that you're going to lose me? And I said, I'm not afraid. I said, I don't believe that I will lose you. I mean, it's possible, but it was just weird to me that he had, said that to me, because I think some part of him, some prophetic unconscious part of him knew that this was a test, but I knew his conscious mind didn't, because he was consciously out of touch with that shit. Okay. Yeah, somebody needed to hear it. Exactly. And so I'm like, okay. So the whole situation is playing out, he's liking this little boy and everything. And I'm just like, okay, cool. And then, the boy decides to come visit him for a week. And this is like the third week. And they have a great week together. They enjoy each other's time and everything. And then, we have a conversation the fourth week. And that's when we had that conversation that led to the breakdown of the friendship. So when I reached out to him 2 months later, to kind of maybe extend an olive branch to see, if we could talk through things, at this point, he was in his feelings, okay? Now, this is how the ego works, right? You already have acknowledged to me in the initial conversation that led to the breakdown that you dropped the ball. He did want to work through things initially when he started, saying, oh, I'm not going to be able to, be on the phone with you like I used to be, and I'm not going to be able to with you, because of, this situation over here. And, I'm just like, you know what? You ain't got to worry about all that, honey. Check up the deuces. Enjoy, honey. You ain't even got to scoop me into the schedule, baby. Because, if it means that much to you, girl, like if you that impressed over a 3-week situation playing out, and you willing to rearrange other people in your life and understanding relationships in your life, I don't even know why we having this conversation this soon in a game to your situation, girl. I'm not here. I'm just not here for it. And one of the reasons why I pulled back almost immediately is because I had made a vow to myself after my last relationship in 2018 that I would never allow myself to be treated in a way that I don't treat other people. Because as an empath, as a giver, as somebody who does love very hard, I have a tendency to put other people ahead of me. And I also have a tendency to just accept whatever people can give to me. And I don't think that you have to throw that completely out. But I also think that you have to also decide at some point in life that honestly, you know, if you really want to get what's yours, you've got to stop accepting mediocrity around the board. And you've got to really clear some space out your life in order for God to be able to put some pretty substantial things there, things that are equivalent, things that can match your energy, things that can keep the same energy, as we say, keep that same energy, bitch. I want my friends to keep that same energy. I want my family to keep that same energy. I want my nigga to keep that same energy. I want my God to keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? And so I made a decision that any bitch who put me anywhere that I don't put them, any bitch who put me anywhere on the priority list that I don't put them, and we have an understanding, you got to go. You got to go. Because at the end of the day, when I start complaining and whining about how I don't get, you know, how I'm treated, and I feel like I'm in one-sided friendships, and I'm still like I'm in one-sided this and one-sided that, ultimately I ain't got nothing to blame but myself. Because I'm the one deciding what gets to be in my life. Okay? I'm the one getting to decide that. So that means that there's accountability on behalf of me. Because I'm giving permission for mediocrity to exist. Okay? I'm the one making space for that. You know, life ain't shooting nothing at me that I'm forced to deal with. I'm choosing my reality. And if I'm dissatisfied at the end of the night, guess who got to clean that up? Me. I got to clean that up. Not the Lord. Not even the people who selling me short. I got to stop selling myself short. Okay? I got to stop selling myself short. So, I made it 2 years since my breakup, because I broke up with my ex back in 2018. And for 2 years, you know what I'm saying, things been flowing all right up until 2020. And so he was the first person that came out of the gate who put me somewhere I didn't put him. You know, I've been married while he and I have been friends. I have been hospitalized when my appendix had ruptured. When we were friends. I have cared for a dying grandfather since we've been friends. I've held down my ex who was locked up, okay, on drugs, gambling while we were friends. And guess what? I made time, all the time in the world, to be his friend. I never allowed myself to have any excuse, okay? And another thing that I have perfected, that I take a lot of pride in, is I don't take so much onto my plate, okay, that I can't handle that which I've put there. A lot of us are not able to stretch and bend and be versatile in the way that we need to, and to sustain our obligations and commitments to the things that we love, because we simply doing too motherfucking much. We're doing too much. Deduct some of that shit off of our plate. Deduct some of it. Okay? And so I no longer take on what I can't sustain, because I don't want to leave anybody behind. I don't want to leave anything undone. So I pack on as much as I can sustain packing on. I knew this topic will be all too real. You want to see the best in people, but when they show you who they are, believe them. Absolutely, Shelly. So when I got this message back, you know, I was befuddled. And I was, you know, just curious, because I'm like, well, here it is. I'm the one who was slided. You know, you switched up on me, homie. I didn't switch up on you. And now you the one who don't know how you feel. And now you the one who don't know if you are ready to talk. To me, the only two things could be going on here. Either your ego has convinced you that you are the one who's actually the victim in the situation. or because you can't find a way to make your behavior make sense to you in terms of why would you part-time your best friend to full-time a 3-week entanglement? Because I'm just assuming that in his mind he feels like when I talk to Conscious TV, because I know how this nigga is, because I know how CTV ass is, because I have seen him drill niggas down to the bone, because I have seen him carry niggas egos to the cross, that I know that if I talk to this nigga, I'm gonna have my shit all the way together. I'm gonna have to make everything make motherfucking sense. I'm gonna have to be the Sigmund Freud to my shit, that I can't talk to this nigga. And it's fucked up because I can't make what I did make sense, and therefore I'm gonna get my ass chewed out, and I'm already bruised. I can't take being chewed out right now. I'm thinking that might be his expectation, is that I'm going to, if we come to the table for a conversation, then I'm going to let have, and I'm not. I would never do that to my friends. I would never. Now, I do require that level of accountability from from my associates, but people who I really fuck with in real life, at the end of the day, all I'm looking for it is a even kill accountability, girl. We don't gotta like scrutinize the repentance process. I understand that things happen in friendships, things happen in relationships. People fuck up. Even the people that make the biggest promise to you sometimes drop the ball. Even the people that, proclaim the most allegiance and loyalty to you sometimes fall flat. We're human at the end of the day. We can be well-intended, good-intended, but nonetheless, shit happens. It's just the nature, okay, of living in an imperfect world. And it's called projection to get a reaction. You're right on point, all the gospel. It's called projection to get a reaction. And so I am just like, I wouldn't put you through that, and I'm, because I'm empathetic, I've tried to put myself in his shoes. Like, what does this look like to him? Because it would be hard for me to talk to him if I had kind of tossed him to the left to support some new nigga coming into my life. And then not only did I lose my friendship by doing so, but then me and that nigga didn't even work out. I mean, I would be reasonably embarrassed. I would not feel comfortable because that's complete egg on my face. But because I'm also somebody who, like, because of the way that I love, I'm willing to even be ashamed. Like, I would rather be ashamed and still go for my relationship, ashamed and still go for a chance to have my friendship back, than to live within the shame. And I think that that's what's so guttural and unfortunate about the consciousness of shame, is that shame is a completely disabilitating state of consciousness to be in. It's so counterintuitive and counterproductive that it leaves you just in a place of utter stagnation. Like, shame does not allow you to make a move because you're too ashamed. Shame is a total, it's the totality of self-condemnation. I try to follow the law of divine compensation. Whatever you give out will somehow come back to you eventually, even if I'm going to 120% and the other person isn't. It will eventually balance out. Shame is paralyzing. It's paralyzing. And so I'm just like, and is he wrong for thinking that I'm going to exacerbate the shame he already feels? No, because a lot of times when there's been a betrayal in a relationship, and people are willing to say that they're sorry, or they're willing to come back to the table and to just make things right, a lot of times people don't allow that to happen before they take out a little bit of revenge on your ass. And that may be giving you the business and giving you a hard time in that initial conversation. You know, we like to punish people when we feel they've wronged us. So most people might even have a desire and have it in their hearts to come to the table, even if they're wrong, but they may be absolutely terrified of what the fuck you're going to do once they're at the table. So I understand the fear, you know, but also I think that might be telling that if you want to come to the table but you don't out of fear, there may be an issue of love, because in perfect love comes perfect trust. And I've always been under the belief that if you really love something and you really love somebody, that you will be able to always sacrifice your ego in exchange for what's in your love to do. You know, did I want to reach out to him to get to his mother? No. But I loved his mother enough to go through her son, who I wasn't talking to get to her. And then, even after I had spoken to her, did I feel it was right to have spoken to his mother and not have even have spoken to him? No, I didn't. And did I feel comfortable, you know, hitting him up again, you know, for he and I to talk? No, I didn't. My pride was saying, fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga. Fuck him, girl. You don't owe that nigga nothing. If anybody need to be hitting anybody ass up, girl, he need to hit your ass. That's what my pride was telling me. But my heart was saying, that's your nigga. That's your nigga, Davion. That's your nigga. And you will lay your life down for this boy. You will lay your life down for this boy. Fuck the scoreboard on who's right or who's wrong. Fuck the technicality of who should do what. Fuck that. So I put my pride aside and I reached out to him anyway. And he gave me his egoic ass to kiss, which is perfectly fine. But that allowed me to permanently close the door. Okay? Close the door. Because all I can see, that's how I am, but I'm not calling. Oh, but trust me, I didn't want to, because, you know, my ego was like, you're gonna put the ball in his court. He's gonna have the power if you call, because now he gets to decide what happens next. Don't put him in that position. But once again, unfortunately, I'm too mature. Unfortunately, I'm too spiritually mature. And I knew it didn't matter, because I knew deep down, beyond who should call who and who was right and who was wrong, I knew that this was somebody that I simply loved, and that the overall experience of the friendship was more valuable to me than a moment in the friendship. And I chose that overall instead of that isolated incident. Okay. And it honestly set me free. And when I saw that he couldn't match me, that he couldn't get past what he couldn't say, the love in him for me didn't move him to sacrifice his ego to meet me in the table, irregardless of whether he felt ashamed, or even irregardless of whether he felt away because I called off the friendship because I felt away about being switched up on. That if at the end of the day, period, if I'm putting my pride aside, if the love in me moved me to put my pride aside, but the love in you didn't move you to put your pride aside, and we claim to have the same type of love for each other, and we claim to hold the same value of one another, that in and of itself is the closure for me. That's the closure for me. I went through the exact same thing you're describing in March, but I was stubborn, went south by June. He was blot, blot, blot. You tried your best. His loss. Absolutely love. Somebody I simply love. Absolutely got it. Absolutely. You close the door as the bigger person and going to and still love him. Still love him, but don't want to fuck with him. Don't want to fuck with him. I'm at 100. I'm at 100, and everybody in my life got to be at 100. And I'd rather be amongst 100 people than to be amongst 120% people. Okay, I am old enough now to prefer quality over quantity. Yeah, love him from a distance. You know, he'll always have my prayers, and I wish him well. And you know, I ultimately didn't want to live with any regrets. 2020 has been a terrible year for so many people. We just lost you know, the actor of Black Panther. We just lost a civil rights leader due to COVID. COVID took the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans. I mean, this has been a very treacherous, really unexpected, really shocking, a very challenging year. And I don't know about everybody else, but for me, that shit really made me do some check and balances and decide what the fuck is worth it. Would I rather hold on to the people that I know that I love because God is taking motherfuckers out of here? Life is taking motherfuckers out of here. You know, I don't prefer to leave no stone unturned in my life. You know, is this a friendship that has to end? No, it's not something that has to end. It's something that we could have worked through, but once again, that takes two people to work through. You can't work through something alone. And given all that's happening this year, I don't trust time. You know, and the reason I'm having this conversation is because one of our mutual friends called me today, and he had told her a while ago that, you know, we weren't friends anymore, and she wanted to have a conversation with me about the friendship. And because he didn't go into detail, she wanted me to kind of, you know, she wanted me to really say what really happened, because we all had like a little clique, and we were all like a family. And I told her, you know, like what happened or whatever. And she was just like, I got to talk to him. I have to talk to him. I got to talk to him, Davion. I got to. Ain't nothing you can tell me, bitch. You can't keep me. I'm going to talk to him. I don't care. We get into an argument. You guys got to fix this, because everybody knew how special our relationship was. You know, everybody knew how unique our relationship was. I mean, you know, he's never had a friend like me. And to be honest, he's never going to have another friend like me. And, you know, he was a special friend to me as well. What we had was truly, you know, equivalent to Batman and Robin. Like, Jesus had John, and I had this friend. You know, this was my John. And so we were a match made, you know. And she had that conversation with him. And, you know, he was just like, you know, I love him and everything, but I just don't know, you know, if I'm ready to talk. And, you know, I'm not saying we won't talk. I'm just saying right now, you know, we you know, I don't know where I'm at with it, etc. And I was just like, okay, you know, like, I mean, you know, God bless her heart. She did what was in her heart to do. But I'm thinking to myself, you know, you're talking about a future. Here's another point I want to make to people. A lot of y'all got too much faith in time, baby. A lot of y'all got too much fucking faith in time. Y'all be thinking that y'all gonna have time to say you love you to somebody. Y'all be thinking y'all gonna have time to make up in the thick shit that's gone on between you and your mama, all these grudges and wounds and pain between you and people that you love, but that got the relationship all fucked up. And then y'all be the same people who turn around when you hear that motherfucker who you didn't talk to sooner than what you could because you allowed your ego to make more of the issues instead of more of the love you had for that person and vice versa. Y'all want to be the first ones running around, falling out around the goddamn casket, losing your fucking mind, littered and riddled with all these damn regrets. You don't have to have no regrets. Y'all holding on to shit and letting shit stay in between you and someone that you love don't have to be there. If you would be humbled enough by the love that you claim you possess and allow that shit to sacrifice your ego so that you can really have what your soul is really craving after. I know so many motherfuckers who are to this day want to talk to a motherfucker, want old times again, but can't get past what somebody did and what had happened. And I'm like, bitch, I would never choose to suffer that way, bitch, because if I want a motherfucker more than I want this pain, bitch, guess what? I'm putting the bullshit aside, bitch. I'm going for what I want. I'm going for what I want. What I know that I want inside of me. And what I know that I want. And this is how you discern, okay, what you know you really want. When you mad and you press, bitch, and you mad as hell when you think about that shit, girl, you get mad. You like, yeah, fuck that bitch fuck that bitch into the deepest abysses of hell, bro. Fuck her. But you find that no matter how mad you get, you find that no matter how much your ego gets inflated and inflamed and you go off on these emotional tangents inside of yourself and you just can't seem to forget just how much this person hurt you. But once that's done, there's a part of you that you are aware that misses and loves that person. And that actually, that missing and loving that person is why you are as mad as your ass is. Because you ain't mad at a bitch you don't give a fuck about. And you ain't hurt over a motherfucker who don't mean nothing to your ass. And you ain't defensive and resistance toward a person who ain't got no value to you. So to all them people out there who be talking all that shit about a motherfucker and they be claiming to not give a damn, baby, that's exactly what giving a whole damn is. Any emotional and mental investment you done made, whether it's negative or positive, whether you're talking shit or you're holding my name up in lights, it's because you care, you're invested, and you give a damn, but you don't got peace about it. You don't have peace with the fact that you love me because your ego got you focused on why you shouldn't be loving me, even though your ass do love me. And so you got this personal conflict within yourself, this dualism, honey. And I know because that's what I was going through initially when I called off the friendship. I was mad, but I loved them. But I was mad, but I loved them. But I was mad, bitch. But I was mad, bitch. But I loved them. I love them. I love them. And what made me put my pride aside to reach out is because I realized I needed to make peace with the truth. And the truth wasn't that I'm mad. The truth was I love them. I love them. And we don't have such a toe up ass friendship that it makes more sense to stay separated than it does together. We don't have a friendship that had problems every week and every month and every 6 months and we were practically damn lovers just without the damn sex. You know, we spent a lot of time together. And we've been through a lot of things together, and we opened up to each other in ways that were really invaluable, you know. And was I gonna let that slip away because, bitch, you dropped the ball over a 3-week situation? No, yeah. Was I gonna do it initially? Yeah, bitch, because I was shocked. I was shocked, bitch. And I don't know who wouldn't be, which is why I'm going to bring somebody into this stream. Yes, bitch TV, you still there? I'm about to put the stream in the link. I want you to click on, girl. And I want you to tell me, was I wrong for calling off the friendship initially? And if he upset about that, if he took that as, if that hurt his feelings, I understand. But bitch, I didn't know what else to do. Because I didn't know how else to process the shit in the moment. I mean, I was literally and utterly shocked. Okay. Roy the artist, you can bring that ass on too. Yes, bitch TV, if you're listening, hunty. The StreamYard link is in the description bar. But you know, you mad at me for my reaction to the situation. I mean, I get it. But once again, if you truly are accountable, then it means that you accept that I had a right to react to you switching up on me. Even if you didn't like my reaction to switching up, to being switched up on, if you are accepting that, yes, I switched up, yes, I got lost in the sauce, honey, but I was so personally mad that I couldn't take it, then you are accepting. Hold on, let me bring, yes.
What's up, honey? How are you?
What's going? I'm just shooting the shit, drinking a fat ass milkshake the size of a big ass jumbo black dick. How are you?
Oh, BBC, honey. Yes, go on.
How are you on this Saturday?
I am good, honey. I'm dealing with
Are
allergies.
you feeling better, girl?
I am better. It's now, and I'm figuring out it's probably allergies now too. So I'm getting over the cold part, but now I'm thinking I'm back because Florida, we're having a bunch of fucked up weather right now. Like it's really humid down here, and more than it's ever been. So I think I'm just, trying to get over some allergies.
Oh wow, okay. Well, I'm glad that you feeling better and you pooching and pushing on through.
Yes, God. How have you been?
I've been doing good. What do you think of this situation that we here discussing tonight? What are your feelings? Because you seem to have a lot of friendships like I do. You seem to have a lot of associations and connection to people. What does this sound like to you? And am I wrong? Because I'm open to criticism.
I know there's a lot of controversy behind TD Jakes, but I remember one sermon he did a long time ago where he talked about friendship. He said it's about three things. You have one friendship that's described as a confidant, which are those people who are there with you beyond measure, beyond anything you can think of, any tragedies, any ups, any downs. These people are here for you. They are for you. Then you have your constituents, the people that are just there for you because you have a common goal. And as soon as, that common goal is reached, they will leave you for something better. Those are the people who will take your dreams if you vocalize them, and they will go and try to live out your dreams just because. Then you have your comrades. These are the people that they're not for you. They're not for what you're for, but they will be there with you to fight a greater evil. But once that evil is defeated, they are gone. So I classify people in my life like that as well. And unfortunately, I love to assume that people are confidants. Obviously, we always want to see the good in people. We always want to, especially when we're giving so much in that friendship or relationship. I think it's also important to realize that, when you're a good-natured person, you're the one that's getting abused, whether you know it or not, in that friendship. And I think for you in this situation, you're such a good person and you're so giving and you're so loving and you always probably want to see the good in people. You're the one that's going to always feel like shit when the friendship ends because you're going to think that you could have did something different. Was it your fault? Was it anything that you did wrong? And from the sound of it, it seems as if, was he real to begin with? You left a friendship that, again, like I said in the chat earlier, that had so much complexities. You gave him something that no one else in this world at that time in his life could give him, which was purpose, which was a solid foundation in which that he could find and discover himself in. And he left you for a temporary satisfaction.
Damn, yes, bitch TV. Now I was trying to be compassionate toward the bitch. Now you about to make me control alt and delete the whole permanently now.
I mean,
Damn.
and speaking to that though, like I don't ever close my door completely on people because life has a weird way of reintroducing you to those same people that you once left behind. Because maybe it's part of the journey. Because see, sometimes that journey will bring you back to certain people because they're now ready to receive who you are to them, if that makes sense.
It does.
And oftentimes it goes into intimate relationships too, but again, we're talking about an actual friendship here. So, you know, I'm experiencing something similar right now with the friendship that I've had for about 17 years. And, you know, I'm asking myself the same questions and I'm beating myself up to, am I wrong? You know what I'm saying? So for you, I don't think you're wrong. Your situation is different than mine because he left the friendship for temporary satisfaction with Trade, who ended up leaving him at the end of it all. So it's like maybe this is a lesson learned for him, but it's also a test for you to realize that people are going to eventually show you who they are, like someone said in the chat earlier, and I think that's a Maya Angelou quote. You know, believe them.
Okay, so let's really work this thing through.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, what is your process of discerning whether you're seeing who somebody finally is from a person just losing their way? How do you distinguish the two?
When a person's lost their way, you're like me. I have the gift of discernment, and I don't want to say that my judgment is my channel is my judgment's final and absolute, honey, is God. but I do it like I try to think to myself like your friend. You know what? Again, when we talk about complexities, that those ends and it's not just black and white. You have intimately got to know your friend. You've been in their life, their ills, their wills, their highs and their lows, almost every dark secret about them. So when someone can just easily break away from you, knowing that you amassed that kind of time with them to learn them like that and vice versa, it makes me question like, wow, that should be stronger than anything, right? That's what holds foundations together. Years and years and years of, combining yourselves with each other.
Yeah.
So if it's that easily broken, my process is simple. Fuck you.
Yikes.
I mean, again, but I never leave my door completely closed.
I mean, but why leave it open for someone? I mean, but why leave it open for someone like that?
It's not open. It's cracked. Amen. It's just cracked. Hallelujah. It's only cracked because I've learned my lesson in life. Sometimes you will come back around. Sometimes the journey just takes you and you will be involved in that person again in some way. And maybe and again, when we talk about, God, he's all forgiving. And again, we're humans and we're very faulty in our nature, but I never want to close myself off because of just that rule of thumb. You just never know. Maybe this is for you to learn, but it's also for him. This is his process, his journey. His journey may end up bringing him back into your life. But that doesn't mean be like Mariah Carey, honey, okay, and open arms his ass. It's just you now know how to treat this person, but don't become completely closed off to them. And I also judge things by, did you hurt me more than you loved me? Because you got a lot of times where you have relationships and friendships with people where you got to judge them based on the pros and the cons. Like, how many times did I have to deal with this? So is this your first time having a run-in with your friend on a negative level?
And see, that's the thing. It is like our spiritual work was hard, but we always separated the difficulty of, we always separated the spiritual from the friendship. Like, what we did spiritually was grueling on him because, like I said, I take my students like So the way that my training is set up is, well, for a lot of spiritualists, they kind of go into teaching kind of the supernatural and the techniques and the methodology, etc. I take my students through what I call a humanity grooming, and that could last for a year, that could last for 2 years, where I'm refining your character and your integrity, because more important than astral projecting or having psychic vision or being able to supernaturally heal or know how to effectively cast spells, remove curses, exorcise demons, bless spaces. Beyond the power, it's more important for you to be a sound and good human being. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't want to equip you with any other knowledge without the foundation of you being a mature and sound and grounded person, because to whom much is given, much is required. And if I'm going to put a gun in your hand, I want to trust that you know how to use it and who to use it upon. So we went through, so our training was rigorous, because when I came into his life, he had a very heavy pain body. He was feeling away about other men. His dating life had been shit, so he had a lot of hurt as it relates to him and men. He was lost and he was without purpose. He was working out of a damn suit shop. There wasn't anything happening, and he was just kind of wallowing away in his bedroom. And so getting in there was quite a task. But once we got in there, I mean, man, he kind of really took off. And he's a wonderful individual. He's a lover. He's a romantic. He's a hopeless romantic. He's a very caring person, and I mean, he honestly is. He's one of the greatest friendships that I've ever had. In all of my time of living, the friendship was great.
Can I say this real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed in the beginning of this whole thing, there's a lot of teachings and lessons, and you're bringing people in. But one thing that we can't forget, that we can learn everything we can learn, but we're never done. And part of the journey is sometimes what I like to call rewind sessions. You're going to go back to that same lesson, because ultimately we're not done learning any real lesson 100% in final. So even in his situation, again, going back to the journey, there's a lot of unexpected things that happen along that way. Maybe this is just one of those things that happen, and it's destined, and we don't have any control over that. He's going to have to go through.
Yeah.
It's in the fact that we're even here today lets me know that there is love there for him still that you have. You're having this conversation piece because that there is emotion behind what you're feeling. So again, your door isn't closed; it's cracked. In order to heal, we have to reveal, and you're revealing, so you can heal. I don't hear a permanent yes or a no, so obviously we're touching on something, honey. Yes, God.
Stop reaching. Yes, bitch. No, I don't want to leave it open.
You never know, because once was last shall soon be first, and people think that's a simple thing, but again, once was first can be last too. So you have to understand that this young man, whatever his trial or tribulation is, this is that, again, it's that part of his journey. You did what you were called to do for him.
Yes, I am very clear about that. I felt like my door was more cracked before I reached out, but then once I reached out and got that response, for me, it felt more like a finale. Like I was like, it shouldn't be this difficult. You know, that's just my attitude. Like, if it shouldn't be this difficult, you know, and it shouldn't require this much for you to come out of your flesh if that love is truly genuine, because it damn sure don't take. Hell, I'm the one who was switched up on, and I'm the one in your face. So how much more am I supposed to, you know, excuse out? I just feel like if it's love, it just shouldn't be this difficult, you know.
I get that part, and I say that to myself all the time. But it's just like the mother bird leaving her child to the world. Sometimes you have to let them learn that lesson on their own. And again, maybe this isn't about you; it's about him. He needs to learn. The part of his journey is you taught what you could taught. Maybe it's time for him to go out there and use what you taught him. And if he uses it successfully, then he'll come back around and be successful. But if he doesn't use it, then he's gonna fall back to the wayside like he once was. But that's not up to you. You did what you came to do. And again, I keep a lot of people in the chat saying seasonal people. Maybe that's just what he was for you. But because of what we gave and the emotion and again the complex nature of the relationship, we're not willing to let that go completely just because of that. But this may be just what it is right now. He may have just been just that, a student. Now he's on his own. And you can't feel bad about that because you're going to forever come in contact with people who are seasonal. But because of who you are and your love is so great and abundant, you're not willing to let that go because you truly.
You trying me, yes, bitch. You trying me.
I'm just saying, though, you know, we only talk about things that are really in our hearts. We only come to our public platforms when we're truly, truly in our feelings and we're convicted in what we're saying. And when you're convicted, you care. And caring and loving is such a strong feeling. It can manifest itself even in the most craziest of ways by saying that you want to shut the door on a bitch. But just, you know.
But what did Whitney say?
Crack is whack.
Friday night, you and your boys went out to eat. And then they hung out. And you came home around 3. Oh, yes, you did. And 6 of y'all went out.
But a journey.
Must have been really cheap.
Again, it's the journey.
You had dinner. And I found your credit card. It's not right. But it certainly is okay. Because I'm going to make it any motherfucking way. So you can pack your bags. And you can up and leave. But bitch, you remember this. Don't you ever dare
come back
to me. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Think about it. Just think about it.
Right or wrong? It's not.
I mean, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
But see, the realization comes at the end when you're truly done. But when you're in the midst of all of it, it's of heightened emotion, of feeling because you gave so much to that situation, to that person, to that relationship. Especially when you're talking about taking someone from the disparities of their life and helping build them up and watching them blossom. It's almost like a child. You don't want to see them leave the nest because you've had an opportunity to bear witness to their growth and add to their growth. You gave so much to their growth. So you probably also feel like he took something from you and didn't appreciate it.
You know what he took from me?
What's that?
He took away my belief that he was stronger than that.
Oh.
Because, you know, when you were speaking earlier and you said that, and you was breaking down the different, you know, comrades, etc., and you were saying that some people will hold on to you, even use you, and maybe it even be unconsciously use you till they get what they want. Something that I think is a very unfortunate pain, especially within the LGBT community. And while I do understand it, it hurts still. Nonetheless, is that oftentimes I've seen so many gay men really utilize their friendships until they acquire a romantic relationship that means a lot to them. And then they seem to go. And And I get it because in this lifestyle, well, oh, I hate that word. In this community, we have probably we're probably the most inexperienced when it comes to love in general. We oftentimes didn't get to experience that from the churches that we were a part of growing up. We oftentimes weren't able to really experience that within the families and within the communities that we were raised up in, because our communities reinforced a lot of the attitude of the church about queer people. So you oftentimes could only even bond with other queer people because you couldn't really talk to your family, and you couldn't really get that support and affirmation and nurture from your religious affiliation. And then you grow up and you lacking all of this community. You're lacking all of this feeling of acceptance from others. Even if you accept yourself, there seems to be something that's still missing. And I do think that this hole in Black gay men leads to a lot of the promiscuity that plagues the community, a lot of the drug addiction, a lot of the pursuit of romantic relationships, because gay men are really trying to fill a hole in their soul, something that's been missing for them and from them for a very long time. And so when gay men rush at the opportunity, they get so desperate at the prospect of being with somebody, especially when it resonates with them, that they get so caught up in themselves. Because it's almost like a crackhead being offered crack. The temptation and the force of attraction that takes over you is almost too much to deny for a lot of gay men. And I've watched a lot of gay men lose their purpose and lose their way out of a desperation to be romantically loved.
You know what we blame that on, though? We blame that on their trauma. We blame that on the fact that there's lack of love in the household. We blame that on the fact that there's no father in the home, or if there is a father in the home, they are disowning their gay child. The mother is disowning their gay child. So on one hand, yes, I blame him for the way he treated you, but can we also blame, and not just him, but the majority of gay men who you describe that go out so far their way for love, they want to experience that. Now, the way they handle it, yeah, it may be fucked up, but can we blame them for wanting to experience something they never had before, which is love? We're forever searching for that. And a lot of times it can come off way fucked up on how they go about getting it. But just to feel that, even if it is for a moment in time, a lot of bitches will risk it.
I know.
Sell their mother honey just to experience what it is to feel some semblance of love.
Yeah.
Lord knows I've been there.
Yeah.
These niggas love you and child got you acting a fool, honey. Okay, and it ain't until you go through it a couple of times and you realize that, bitch, the real love you need is for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Spitfire says he feels attacked. Brandon Spitfire, come into the stream, my brother. Share what, because it sounds like what this might apply. I don't want you to let it fly. If you have been a perpetrator of ghosting your friends over some trash ass piece of trade, I want you to come on up here. I want you to speak to the folks, speak to the people. But you're right. Like, you know, I hold him accountable to I hold him accountable, but I empathize because I understand what's happening, and I understand what happens, which is why even when I was married, that's what made me make sure that I maintain my relationship and my friendship, because I know what that feels like to be left behind. And I didn't want anybody else in my life to ever feel that way, regardless of the many hats that I would come to wear in life. And so it motivated me to be a great multitasker. You know, at the time that My ex-husband was in prison doing a 3.5-year bid. I was out here taking care of him, commissary every week, paying off his goddamn debt, making sure he was good. I was out here, you know, a whole family man. Like I said, I was a caretaker for my grandfather. I was helping my grandmother. I was holding down a whole household and property, and I was growing my channel. You know, I had responsibilities, but I was maintaining them and maintaining them well. And, you know, I know most people are not perfectionists in that way. Like, most people do not strive to perfect their living. But because I'm naturally a perfectionist, I like to do things, and I like to do things well. When people say, "Oh my God, Conscious, you're so articulate," or "Your hair is so slayed," or "Your pictures are so," it's because I'm a perfectionist. I just naturally like to do things and to do them as well as they can be done. I mean, even when I'm being a bad boy, I like to do bad well. I like to do naughty very well. I like to do everything well. It's just a perfectionist in me that just goes hard. But I've noticed that a lot of other people aren't as meticulous about their living. You know, most people are just living. Most people are just
Existing.
getting by to get by, you know, doing whatever can be done, but there's not really a standard set, you know. And I have a pretty high standard for myself. And some people will say, well, you know what, Conscious, you cannot expect people to be you. And I say, well, if I can't expect that, what's the goddamn point? I actually would prefer to be amongst my tribe. I'm actually quite sick of not being amongst those who are like myself. I spent most of my life allowing people who are not like me close to me and in my inner court. And I'm over that experience. I want to know what it's like to be in friendships with people who have high standards. I want to know what it's like to be amongst people who are so intentional and passionate about their living. Like, that's something that I haven't been afforded to see yet, and I think that's why I'm okay with moving on without him. I was open when I reached out to him to see where things were. 2 months had gone by at that time, and I'm not the person who fucked you over. So, you know, I returned back to the scene of the crime when I felt I was ready and could deal with the scene of the crime. And at that point, you know, your ego had convinced you that you were the victim. Okay, fine. And I'm good on that. And I take it that I don't need that where I'm going, because where I'm going, I want so much more, and I'm going to be giving so much more. And if you ain't got it in you to be just as much of a giver as you are a receiver, then this is where the road should end for you and I. And if the opportunity opens up again, you know what? I'm kind of over do-overs too. And I done gave these niggas in my life my life. I feel like, bitch, if you ain't get it when I was here, girl, you don't fuck you, because I done put it all on the floor. What is a do-over? A do-over? I done made it too easy the first go around. I done made it too easy. It wasn't even, and maybe that's what my ego is at. But I just feel like
my brother told me a long time ago, you will forever be saddened and, you know, mistaken to think that people will think like you do, especially again when you're so caring and so open to love and showing people the greatness of who you are. Again, this isn't about you. This is about him. He's at fault. You're already the person who you want to be. You've learned all of the things that you taught him, correct? So this is about him. This is his moment of downfall for him to learn from his mistakes and how he treats people. And if he doesn't learn, that's not your fault. You did everything you could do for him. As long as you know you went into it with love and with the intention to help and inspire, and to help him build some semblance of a foundation so that he can be a productive member of these here societies, honey, you're okay. but I get the emotion. And my Capricorn sign is, I'm very stubborn and very cold when it comes to certain situations, and that's probably why I can be so easy to just close a book on a bitch. But you did what you needed to do, and I really hope that's not the real Darnell Jones, honey. Yes, God.
It might be, honey.
Okay.
No, I don't think that Darnell puts the E on the end of his. Does he?
Okay, my bad, child.
No.
Just making it. I get sidetracked easy. Okay. But yeah, you did what you needed to do, and you shouldn't beat yourself up over it, and you shouldn't call into question, because again, this person is on their journey, and maybe again, this was that mark in their journey, and it's easy. And it can be so hard to accept those things sometimes, but I guarantee you will sleep better just knowing that you did what Conscious TV could do.
Yes, yeah. I totally get it. I have no regrets. I would not have taken any of the years back. I wouldn't have taken any of the, anything back, because I accept first and foremost that I came to do what God would have me do in his life. He and I working out was a secondary to what God needed me to do first and foremost. And I don't, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets. And I
maybe you learned something from him, and you unconsciously you don't even know about it. Maybe later on down the road, you'll have an aha moment, like, "Oh, I did learn something from this bitch."
Well, I mean, you know what I learned? I mean, I learned that I'm gonna be a part of people's stories, and I learned that all fairy tales don't have a happily ever after, but that even the short-lived fairy tales are still nonetheless fairy tales.
Can I say something to that real quick? I'm sorry to cut you off.
And you did, bitch.
I'm sorry. The history of fairy tales is a lie. The true fairy tales were never fairy tales. They were all nightmares to begin with. It was society that wanted to gloss over this whole kumbaya thing to not scare children.
God damn. Yes, bitch. I'm trying to see every time I'd be trying to lead the door crack, but bitch, you get to talking and I just want to control alt delete the bitch.
But that's the world, though. We always want some peaceful after moment. Shit goes crazy. We always want to hold hands in the end, and we want to believe that there's some type of, but sometimes just what is what is. It's just all fucked up. It's horrible. It's horrific. It's a nightmare. We can't continue to try to sugarcoat things and try to make things sweeter than what they are. Sometimes they are just what they are. Evil. By intent, by nature. And the sooner we accept those things, a lot of times and again, I'm still learning these things too. I'm not some peaceful Buddha bitch. You know that, honey. I'm still going through my own pits, and these are the things that I'm learning. That's why I'm telling you now. Because I feel like my life will be so much easier if I can just let things go and just let the chips fall where they may, because we want to assume control over a lot of different things, people, places, things, our situations, our circumstance. And in reality, we're just meant to let it go and just let it be what it is. And we can't think like, okay, well, maybe in the end, and we'll be singing Kumbaya and, doing this and living in dreams and running through fields and shit. But that may not be the ultimate reality.
You know why I believe in fairy tales? Because I'm a goddamn fairy tale.
Amen.
I'm a whole goddamn fairy tale. From the crown of this head to the fat of this ass to the bottom of my feet. I'm a whole fairy tale.
Amen. A unicorn.
A whole unicorn. And so therefore there must be other unicorns, right?
Amen.
There has to be other unicorns. There has to be other like-minded, like-living individuals, right? Yes, bitch.
There is, but eventually on your journey, you will bump into them. And you know what? A lot of times, even in life, I think the Bible speaks of this. You will probably only come across a handful of people in your life who are for you. And if you do, you are a blessed person. It's okay to have 1, 2, 3. Even if it's only just one, you are blessed because you're not alone. Amen.
Amen.
And sometimes they may come once every 10, 20 years, once every year. You just never know. But as long as you have that one, you are okay. That's all you need. Because God is never going to leave you nor forsake you. Amen. He's going to always send someone in your life that is for you completely, 100% through and through. But I don't want people to beat themselves up when you've given all you can to a person. And Lord knows I know this, I'm experiencing now. You give everything and there's still just this fucked up way that you feel about it. But as long as you know that you did everything you possibly could to keep the friendship and to do it, and you're doing the right thing by reaching out, and maybe that person, hey, just again, respect what he says. You know what? It is what it is because you're not at fault here. He knows he fucked up. But that's the child that lives with him. That goes to show you that even through all your teaching and the maturity that he may have showed, that was still one area of his life that he needs to learn. That jump in the ship of a friendship for instant gratification, or maybe again, that's just what he needed to learn on his journey, that man wasn't for him. Maybe in his journey, he needs to learn how he needs to be treated, what to expect and how to be treated by men. Because 3 weeks, I can only imagine what the hell was going on there. But that's for him. That's not for you.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And this moment in our friendship is the catalyst for that lesson for him.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Because I got that.
That's all we are. We're just the catalyst for certain shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why I stopped whipping hoes' ass, because I realized that God was using me divinely. See, this would have equated to an ass whipping about 3 years ago.
Let me tell you, let me throw this kumbaya shit out the window. I would have rolled up on that bitch and beat her. Honey, let me tell you. Blasted my Tupac in the background, honey. When we ride on our enemies, done up. Boy, what you talking? Honey, please.
Yes, God.
You know, that bitch face with cigarettes.
And that's why I totally get it. And like I said, there's no regret. 2020 is too short. It's all love on my end. I have no regrets even about reaching out and putting the ball in that bitch court, because even that's a testament of my love. And at the end of the day, I go to sleep very well at night, knowing that I'm true to my heart and my soul, not my ego, not my pride, and damn sure not my pain, but to my heart, I am true. To my heart, I am true. So I sleep well, you know, and God bless them. You know, God really, 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 really bless them. You know, I love them. And, you know, I mean, people say, who knows? The Scorpio in me says, fuck. The Scorpio in me says, big dot. Put a big dot on it.
Right.
But the you know, I struggle. Hold on, I think we got a guy. Hey, Nicole.
Hi.
You're on camera. You're on candid camera, boo. We can see you.
Oh God, I love you, and my hair is a hot mess. And
girl, if you don't bring all of that divine naturalness onto this camera and stop playing in these
I'll show myself, honey, if you show you. How are you? I'll show. Look at my 3 necks, baby. Good, you're good.
With my missing braids in the front.
Oh my God! Don't you guys? First of all, don't make me cry. You look gorgeous. Don't cry. Why are you crying?
Hey,
I love you.
You give me so much life. Oh my God.
Oh my God! I love you so much. Oh, you're so sweet. Don't make me teary eyed.
I am so honored. I am so honored. I'm so honored.
No, it is my honor. Oh my God. You about to make me
oh my God.
Oh, I'm happy that you showed up. You don't have to cry. It is my pleasure, Nicole. I am put here for you, okay? I am put here to give you your life. And you are amazing for getting up here. Braids, as you say, missing and all. That means so much to me.
You
That
done
means so
pulled
much.
me through many of crazy nights and me commenting amen and preach and talk that shit to us and
Oh.
so, oh my God, like talk that talk.
Oh my God. That means a lot to me because sometimes I be like, why am I doing this again? And hearing things like this from supporters like you guys make me endure this thing out. You guys give me the strength to be vulnerable, to share my life with you guys, to step up my work ethic, to put what I put into my content. I do this for you guys. So it means so much to me that it means that much to you. Like, and you about to have me balling away tonight. Like that that's everything. Like I couldn't do this without you all. I couldn't do this without you all.
You don't know how many times you've got me through just talking about something that just had me hollering so much that like everything at that moment is just irrelevant because I just needed that. I just needed that. And
Oh,
people, I don't know, I'm sure your fans tell you plenty of times how much they appreciate you. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you
oh
so
my
much.
goodness.
Thank you.
Oh no,
Thank you. Because
thank
sometimes it's just the little things that will get a person through. Just that little
yeah.
peek real quick can be a life changer. Just in that moment can just change your whole life for a second. Just a smile.
Oh my goodness, Nicole. Why you doing this to me tonight? Why you doing this to me tonight? Why you doing this to me
Oh my
tonight?
God, I can't believe I'm even speaking to you.
Look, I can only pray to God that God continues to put whatever is needed in me to continue to make a difference in whatever way I can in your life and anybody else's. I am honored. I am honored that you value me that much, and
Oh,
that honestly is about to make me go
oh my God, my hair
supernova
is so
on my
ugly. I
platform.
got the snot running.
Look,
Nails are everything, honey.
you had to bear your heart and soul because you real. You 100. You wearing your love on your heart. The world needs more of us like that. The honesty and the vulnerability is everything. You got to email me after this. I'm going to have to send you like a little love offering. You're such a dedicated and appreciative person. I can't just let that go without something special. So you need to email me when you hang up here, okay?
You know I love you. If I got on camera,
I
okay,
know you do, honey.
I'm so,
Raw and honest and all, baby. I know it's real. It is real. See, these are the day ones here. Like
Show
these.
off the nails, honey. I'm living for
Look,
those.
show off
with me
the
the whole feeling.
nail. Girl, you are slaying. Quarantine and slaying. Stop playing with me. You're everything. You are everything. And as long as God give me breath, Nicole, I'm gonna be right here with you, baby. And we gonna get through many a nights together, no matter what kind of nights those are. Okay, I'm gonna be right here, and we gonna get through those things together. Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
so honored. Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
I am honored and I love you so much. And thank you. Thank you for getting up here. I needed this. I was feeling a little wretched because of what's going on, but you just came and just poured everything I needed back into my heart. So you done filled me up and now I can put a lid on that thing again. I can put a lid on it. I thank you.
Have a good night, guys. I'm
And
gonna
you
go ahead
too.
and
And I
massage
love you.
myself.
And
Cover you, boo.
email me after this, Nicole. Email me.
Okay.
All right, love.
I know you're gonna always remember me, the one with the missing braids.
No, honey, we're going to remember you as the one
With the beautiful
with
hot
nails.
bun, honey, because that hot bun is sitting tight and right.
I had a rough 45. I had a rough 45. Turning 45 has been really hard. So I
Girl, but if
appreciated
you
this.
But you made it. You made it. You made it. You made it hard and all. You crossed that great gulf, hard and all. And God will never put you through what He won't see you through. So there's a reason why you came this far. So you wait for your paradise, because that can't be too far off if you done came through the thick of it already. Okay? You keep on holding on. You keep your faith strong, and you need to know that your CTV is having to hold on and be strong with you. You is not alone in your strength. We all gonna be strong together. Okay?
And girl, roll a joint, honey.
Thank you.
Feel better.
Those are tears of joy.
I'm so happy. Thank you.
Yeah, I love you.
Forever fan. Forever.
Okay, so I want you to remember that even when I'm cutting up, I want you to remember you a fan forever, 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 even when I'm acting up on here. All right. I love you.
God bless you, sweetie.
My God. My
Let's say this
God.
real
What's
quick,
the Lord doing? Yes, bitch. What
Let me
is
say
God
this real
doing tonight?
I tell you, there will always be someone there.
Man,
hello,
people about to
my
say,
consciousness, my awesomeness, conscious
what's
TV.
going on, Purple Lover 77?
Yes,
Hey.
so I'm in the house. And hello to
Why the
my
conscious crew want to put me in my feelings tonight? Why they doing me like this? Why the Lord gonna use my call
baby,
like
I got
that?
to come and talk to you, especially at one empath to another. Now, come on. You know it was mandatory.
My God. That
That's
thing
the
blessed me.
whole reason why you're going through this. It's because of people like her that you're able to reach.
Yeah.
A lot of the work that we do, sweetheart, is not for us. It's for the
Right.
people that we're going to be impacting later.
Right.
Because there's going to be people who are going through the same type of experience that you're going through right now. And because this video will be there to support them, it's going to help them to get through what they're going through. Because it's real easy to get into a dark place for a lot of people. You know what I'm talking about, because we go into the dark places for these people. Sometimes we're the only light that they see for a long time.
Yeah. You're
So
right.
that's why you're going through it.
You're right. You're
And
right.
you're going through it with the grace and the dignity that I have always known
I'm
you to
trying,
have.
Herb. I am trying.
Oh, I know that the Scorpion Stinger wants to come out and play too. I know.
I am. Yes. You know, if people have this misperception about being spiritual, people think that spirituality is a immunity, and it's not. It's just it's a point of reference for
It's an active choice we make every
yes.
time. Because spiritual doesn't mean that I don't get pissed off.
Yeah.
A
Right.
lot of people have this
Because I'm a natural
version.
born. I'm a natural born ass kisser, Purple. I'm a natural born ass kicker.
But we also got that warrior spirit in us. We can love you to death, but the same hand that we can feed you with, we can also choke you out with if necessary.
Right.
And that's what they don't get. Because people used to use my faith against me and be like, what would Jesus do? I was like, clearly you haven't read that book. Because what Jesus would do, you really don't want to know. Because he wasn't all gumdrops and lollipops neither.
Right. Okay, speak on it.
And they forget that part.
Because they forget.
The person you were dealing with.
Time in that temple, but when he had to pull up.
Exactly. When he stepped over those tables. Okay.
They don't ever want to talk about the pull up Christ.
They don't want to talk about, I didn't come here to bring peace, but a sword.
But a sword? What? Perp, you better stop. Don't play with me tonight. Don't play in my face tonight. Don't you play in my face tonight.
Yeah. I quickly tell people, y'all don't really want to know the Jesus that I know what he would do. Because
Come
I
on now.
promise you wouldn't like it.
Come on now.
Because people play too many games. Because what they're really saying is they're trying to put you into a situation where they want you to lay down and be a doormat. And that's not what that book says at all. It doesn't say that, hey, I'm going to lay down and take everything that you put out here. No. But that's the interpretation that they got. Because you have so many people that want to cherry pick from that book.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And the person you were dealing with, the reason why he couldn't receive your love the way that you offered it is because he's not healed himself. And people who are really hurt, even like a Yana Van said it best, that sometimes love doesn't feel like love when you're really hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's what you were dealing with. Because I came out of a situation like that myself. And I learned my lesson well. So that's what you were getting.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to walk his walk like Bent was saying. And you're gonna elevate and move on.
Yes.
Now, if he got any sense, he'll get himself together, because when God sends what I call catalyst people into your life, if you don't get it together, then their spirit will start to manhandle them for not dealing with it. Because the fact that you appeared meant that his was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm.
And he's playing games. So now he's going to reap what he sowed. He can't play games and not expect not to receive what those games gets him. Like that saying goes, play dumb games, win dumb prizes. And he's about to see what those dumb prizes look like.
Do you know what's so funny, Part? And yes, bitch, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You know I'm here.
Okay. So what's so interesting about this is, you know, because his and our relationship is deeply spiritual, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but it was just so ironic at the timing that this young man came into his life, because at that time, he and I was about to go to the next level in his spiritual journey, and he was actually going to be coming here and kind of living with me for some time, where I could help to deepen his experiences by walking him through some transcendental things that really do require supervision. They require, you know, a tutor. And when this person came into his life, I knew that that it was of no coincidence. I knew that that person was symbolically representing a rite of passage for him. And I knew that it was his opportunity to either cross as a man or to cross as a boy.
Exactly.
And when I saw how he got so swept away, almost right off his feet, so immediately I knew he had felt the test.
I went through the same thing with my person too. What is happening is when it's time for that spiritual death to occur. Notice how many people in the Bible ran for Jesus when it was time for the spiritual death to occur. It showed us a physical death that was really representing the spiritual death that they were going to have to go through. And they were not for it. Remember, Jesus had to come back because one of his disciples refused to go to the cross. And Jesus started walking towards going to the cross. And the disciple asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, since you won't go, I have to go." And that's what happened. You brought him to that spiritual death point where it was either you sink or swim, and he sunk, just like mine sunk. Because it's the fear of the unknown. They think that they're going to be enslaved. They're not recognizing that what you're giving them is freedom, but the fear in them is making them see it as you're entrapping them, even though that's the farthest thing from the truth.
On the truth, right, right, right.
And it's hard. What you're dealing with was the same thing I was dealing with, because he was so freaking close.
So
And
close,
that's
right,
what's
right
running
there,
the group.
right there on
He
the.
was so freaking close,
on
because that's what mine did.
Mm-hmm.
And me and you just could not accept it. We're like, but
Look,
nigga,
God
you're right
told me
there.
not. God told me not to even identify to him that I had to literally fall back and take an observer approach. That this was the part where it was him. He had to show up. It was for him to recognize what was happening. It was for him to listen to that intuitive self, to discern what was happening. And it was so hard combating my ego, because I wanted to get in there and say, no, this is what this is. But I would have been canceling out that manifestation, because this manifestation was showing up for him so that he could measure himself against it based upon the way he engaged or the way he navigated that manifestation. But the friend in me wanted to jump out for my friend, but the teacher in me knew I had to fall the hell back. And I had to hold a friend in me back too, because this is literally where he had to become a man at, that he had to initiate his passion for expansion, for learning, and for growth. And here's the thing that I want to tell people about rites of passages that symbolically show up, is that the universe, you always know that you're upon a rite of passage experience, because it's the manifestation of one of the deepest desires of your heart, whatever that is. And everybody has their own heart.
It costed mine greatly. He lost his mother behind his foolishness.
Oh, wow.
Because he wasn't willing to wake up. And his brother is now in jail because of his foolishness. So he paid a heavy price. But I warned him. I said, God will not be mocked. You asked for me to show up in your life. And then when I did, you chose to make a mockery of it.
Yeah.
I was like, just know you're going to have to pay for that.
Yeah.
And he did. And it was so sad, because I wasn't wishing ill upon him. But because you know what I'm talking about, because of where we've been and how close we've been, we're obligated to warn you.
Right.
Where it can lead if you don't tighten up. I warned him repeatedly. I was like, you keep playing games, it's not going to go well. Said that for months. Now his mother's in the ground and his brother's in jail because he could not take me seriously. And all of that would have been avoided had he done what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
he knew what he was supposed to do. He knew it himself. What he was supposed to do. Yeah.
That's why the penalties were so harsh, because he knew long before I got there. I was supposed to be that final thing to help him to go the rest of the distance. He played games, and it cost bad. I hadn't seen it dealt that harsh in a long time. Not within like months. And before that, he had gotten robbed and beat up.
Jesus.
So he had a warning before she passed away, and before his brother went to jail. Still didn't take the hint. So it just wound up being what it was. And it was sad to see it.
So where are you guys now? Is he still, are y'all connected, or he's off in somewhere else?
I'm friends at a huge distance.
Okay.
Like way at a distance. Because as long as you're not willing to do what needs to be done, it's far better for me to be away from you than for me to be around you and you continue not to do it.
Yeah.
Because the consequences can get really heavy then, which is sad.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. Because there's some people right now probably in this chat who needs to wake up call and to realize tomorrow's not promised to you, nor to the people that you love. If you know you got work to do, get to it. You were one of the reasons why I went on here and actively sought out a therapist, because you were saying at the time, this is now the time for you to do the work, to do the healing that you need to do. Because if you're not dealing with it, you're
It's
going to
gonna
have
deal
to deal
with
with it.
you. If you don't deal with it, it's gonna deal with you. Yeah.
And I took your words to heart. And I was like, you know what? He's right. And so now I got my therapist coming on Tuesday. So
That is amazing, Perp. That is
and I
amazing.
found somebody like us out of all things.
Yeah, that's
So
important.
yes,
Yeah,
because
it's very
I don't get
important.
to be sitting up in somebody's therapy office and can't be all of myself and say all of what's going on with me, because I'm worried you might think that because I'm an empath that I got some other stuff going on that I don't have going on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna have
Yeah.
to deal with it. You're dealing with it well, and I know there's still gonna be sometimes you just want to what if yourself to death, because I went through that stage of, well, maybe if I had done this, or maybe if I had done that. No, you did what you needed to do. We needed to do it, and I just don't know. And that's the hard part at times. Just like, okay, it's on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it's like being a parent where you have to realize that there's a time where you got to let your little birdies fly, and they either gonna sink or they gonna swim, they're gonna soar, or they're gonna fall. But you have to be able to give them the opportunity to actually do that, and you know, and you know, it's interesting. I used to get really attached to my students, but I stopped doing that because it was really whipping my ass after a while. So this actually was a better letting go process for me, because I've been doing this work for so long in people's lives that I've been able to refine the process again and again and again and again. So letting go doesn't feel as difficult as it used to. Even in my narcissistic ex, who I let back in my life a few months ago, it was easier to, once it was over, to just let it be over. Like I didn't really struggle through the letting go process, because I've just worked more even for myself at not identifying so much with the material plane. I use it accordingly, but I try not to formulate too much of a relationship to it, so that things can move as fluidly as possible. Because when we start to identify with it, we don't realize how we actually start interrupting a lot of the process, because consciousness moves very fluidly, reality moves very fluidly, but as we become ego, we become addicted, and addiction acts as blood clots to the living experience. You know,
and I've got a warrants about identifying what the state that the person is in, that they're in, because it's easy to get stuck in that state with them.
Yeah, it is.
Because you have identified yourself with the state, so now that state has become a part of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And it can take a while to get unstuck when you get stuck in somebody else's mess. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yes, bitch TV, you all up in this comment section like you not up here on the panel. You just carrying on in this chat like you ain't up here and got a whole microphone in front of you.
I'm just a humble listener.
Okay, humble pie. I know you said you got to go in a little bit,
by the way.
Huh?
And I love why bit energy, by the way, because he's so
Let me tell you. YB is is another brother. He's a brother from another mother, because I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I know YB. I feel like I knew him before this. Like, he just feels so familiar to me. I might have to get a
So
past life regression. Like, my ex-husband from my last life might be incarnated as YB.
yep. So family member.
Soul tie type keys, but
Yeah.
YB is the business. He is the best kept secret on these YouTube streets. I mean, I know that it's just a matter of time before he has that breakthrough moment, baby. And when it happens, YB, I hope you're ready, because it's gonna be a floodgate. It's gonna be a floodgate experience.
Amen. I love floods.
Okay, you know what?
And definitely be ready, because it's definitely going to come. You ask for it, here it comes.
Yes, and we got breaking the culture of silence in the house. What's going on, breaking the culture? What's going on, Queen? Now I know that you gotta leave us in a few, YB. So is there anything that you kind of wanna say to the people? Hey, Miss Gina, Queen of Talk. Hey, Maud, what's going on, baby? Is there anything that you want to give to the folks before you go?
All I would say,
First of all, what you about to go do?
I'm just gonna go to my brother's house real quick. I've been sick, so I haven't had a chance to see him in like 2-3 weeks. So I'm gonna go over there and chill with him.
Oh, sending healing to you, sweetie. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's all good. I'm feeling better now. It's just the allergies I'm battling.
I understand.
Yeah, this time of year be messing folk up sometimes. But you know what? That's how I can tell that you are an empath too, YB, because empaths can have a tendency to be kind of sickly people or suffer from a lot of allergies because of their sensitivity. So I'm not surprised that you be swarmed with all type of coughing and hacking and sneezing and yakking every damn well.
I do have a tendency to take other people's emotions on. So.
Yes. And there are things that you can do to guard yourself from being bombarded by it. Some things like, surrounding yourself with a little bubble, any little thing that makes you feel like, you're in your safe space, in your safe area.
Oh, I am. Let me tell you something. I stay to myself. I go to work and I come home and I block out all the negative energy. But sometimes it is difficult to do that, though.
Because it can drain you. When I first became an empath, I felt like I was losing my freaking mind. And I was becoming so freaking drained because of people around me.
Yeah. Emotional vibrations are hell.
Yeah.
All I wanted to leave the people with is that, at the end of the day, you have to learn to love self, and that is a forever journey. So don't get upset when you get to those moments where you're in doubt or where you feel like you're not enough or doing enough for other people or even doing enough for yourself.
Yeah.
Again, that's something I'm still learning. I actually just talked about that yesterday in a private chat, where it's just like I just sometimes don't feel enough, but you have to know that. You have to know that you're somebody and and if you've been through a lot of shit in your life, you do have to realize too that means God has something for you, that you are going to be a beacon of hope for someone else in this life or the next, for crying out loud, wherever that is or however that's going to be. And Conscious, I just want to tell you, baby, that you're good. You are loved beyond measure. Look, here today is a testimony. God will always show you and remind you why you are here. And this is obviously why you are here.
Yeah.
You've been called to do something, and just continue doing that. And I'm glad to be a part of it and have been a part of your growth as well, seeing you through the years and creating the relationship that we have. And I'm definitely blessed to have been a witness to that. And just seeing all the people here tonight who are just basically, this is a revival, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
this was a revival.
Amen.
Testimony, testify. Yes.
Hey, honey, and this is why you're doing this. Again, this is God reminding you too. Amen.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
Through that tragic breakup of a friendship, or you're being blessed right here and now by seeing all these people who you probably never met but are touching in some way. It says a lot.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And this was also God to minister to your spirit, to have people minister to you, because you give a lot, Conscious TV, but you're not as open to receiving as you are to giving. So it was time for you to receive, even though that's not one of your most favorite things to do. It was your time to receive.
I am definitely going to work more on being a receiver. I've been trying to open my arms a lot wider, and some very amazing things have been coming through that I must say. This year, 2020 has been really epic, you know, for all of us. It's been 2020 vision. It's this is the year to really get to the bottom line of your bottom line and to really make that leap. Because something very powerful is happening within consciousness. And I got a feeling that because of the severity of the transition that we're in, we're also dawning upon the age of Aquarius. There's a lot of, we hear the age knocking and knocking on the door. It ain't quite here, but it's knocking and knocking and knocking. That this is really one of those cool moments for you to jump in, because if you don't jump in, you might honestly just really get left behind. So I think that this is a year of faith. It's a year of walking by faith and not as much by sight. And that is something that terrifies most people, because most of us rely on our logic and our rationale to make decisions. Most of us are not living from our intuition. We're not living from our discernment. And so just learning to yield to that is something that I think is going to be a matter of life and death at this point, a matter of poverty and prosperity at this point. So, you know, it's a year of great spiritual training and learning. But, you know, honestly, if you can surrender, submit, and get with the program, then you can. That's going to act as a lamb's blood on your doorpost, just like it was for the Israelites when the angel of death came over Egypt, like really staying close to the Lord. Like we are dawning upon some interesting times, but God is still here. There's still a protection and a covering and a sovereignty that's present, and that vibration.
And here's a little prophetic word for you.
Absolutely.
You have to start practicing receiving, because you're going to be entering into a huge period of abundance, and you're going to be called to teach other people who haven't learned how to receive as well.
Absolutely.
That's going to be one of the areas that you're going to be doing a lot of work in.
I received it, prophetess Perk.
Well, I don't try to be a prophet, but when I have a message, I try to give it.
And that's what a prophet does. A messenger. Yes, God. Now, my laptop is dying. It's literally at 5%, so I know it's about to click off the stream. I do want to thank you guys for joining me tonight, Perk, and yes, Bitch TV.
You're absolutely
and
welcome.
you know, I love you. Just be open to receiving, because there's a lot of miracles that you're going to be a part of, because some of it is going to be people receiving financially, some of it is going to be spiritually, and some of it is going to be physically.
Absolutely.
But it's all going to be about being open to receiving, and it's going to be amazing the work that you do. You do amazing work anyway, and it's just going to take it to the next level for you.
Yeah. Well, I received that, Perp, and I'm honestly looking forward to what God is going to do in all of our lives. I'm looking forward to God bringing out the best in every last single one of us. And I know that the road ahead is going to be interesting. It's going to be bumpy, but I know that it's really going to make us who it is we were really destined to truly be, and not the weird versions of ourselves that we've been living as up until this point. So it's going to be quite awakening, but I'm here. I receive it. I love you all. And thank you, Perp, because you are such a consistent subscriber. I mean, you are definitely hands down a conscious crew member to the T, honey. Like you be
Yeah,
here
you know I love you.
bottom, and I love it, and I thank you. And I'm gonna do something really special for you all really soon, especially my A1 day one. So just let me continue to get my magic together, get myself in order, and I'm gonna be asking for y'all Cash App soon. I got some things I want to do for some folks.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I love you. And I'm so honored to meet you, Wyvette. You're awesome as well.
Good to meet
And for the
you.
people in the chat, you have not because you asked not. A lot of you,
Come on now.
there's a lot of blessings that are waiting upon you. Open your eyes and be willing to receive it. Because a lot of you are blocking your own blessings just because you're not being an open receptacle to receive it. So receive your blessings.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen. I think we can all amen on that. Three's the crowd. When two or more are gathered in his name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, I love you too, Perk.
All right. Have a good one, y'all.
Have a
You
blessed
too.
night, boo.
And I love you. Yes, bitch. I'll probably text you in a little bit. Or text me when
Okay.
you finish with your shenanigans.
Okay, I got you. Well, thank you so much for allowing me on your platform and
No,
speak.
thank you. Like you were a blessing. Thank you for your words of encouragement and wisdom. I just appreciate you so much.
You're welcome, boo. Love you. Love the
All right,
chat.
love you too.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Y'all make sure to subscribe to Yes Bitch TV. You guys go over there and get my boo to 1,000. Let's get this man to 1,000. This man works hard, baby. He works hard, honey. And all the hell we go through as content creators, hoes talking shit, bitches mad, motherfuckers pressed. You know, it be all type of ish going on. It's hard. It gets hard in these streets. But we stay with it, and we love you all, and you guys love us. And I just want to thank you all in the chat. I hope that this live was impactful. I got up here to just kind of share some things, but we end up really getting into some teams, into some grown people teams, into some empath teams, into some spiritual teams, into some metaphysical teams, into some Christ-like teams. Okay? And I'm here for it. So I love you all. You guys have a blessed night. And I might come back on tomorrow. I know I got some pre-recorded material that I wanna give to you guys. It's been a long time since I done put out some pre-recorded material, do some hot topics and all of that. Next week, the gentleman's panel will also be on Captivating Christians channel. So you guys make sure to look for us there on next Thursday. You know, it's the most boring show that people just can't stop watching. How about it? Hey, Soap, you guys go over and subscribe to The Soap. The Soap is going to be starting his YouTube channel. He's going to be producing content. I have no idea what The Soap has in store, but I want to welcome you to these YouTube streets, The Soap. I can already tell that you know that it gets a little messy out here. So I want you to stay out of trouble, okay? Because once you get swept up into the sunken place, it's quite difficult to get up out of there, okay? But I am looking forward to your contribution to these YouTube streets. And I know you recently just found me, but I already like you for some reason. I have no idea who the hell you is, but I just already have a likeness towards you, okay? Robbie on the trails. Hey, boo, what's going on? Thank you for catch this replay, Robbie. You're going to enjoy it. Hey, Classy Queen. I need to go into the Patreon, too, because that's really where I get into all my business at. And I got some things I need to get into. So y'all be looking out for a Patreon notification. I'll probably actually do that Sunday, go into the Patreon, give you guys a live and chat it up with you guys. We also, you know, do the StreamYard thing over there and bring you guys into the conversations and everything. So if you guys want to get just a little bit more personal with the CTV, then sign up to the Patreon. It's only $5 a month for your subscription. And just shout out to my patrons, man. They're such a loyal. That's my storefront. That's my storefront church over there. They're such a loyal batch. They don't give a damn whether I'm there or not. You know, they just want to give their $5, and that $5 makes a lot of difference. You know, I recently got a webcam that initially did not even work. It didn't even work. And I put, the Holy Ghost said, Davion, put that thing up in that thing. The Holy Ghost said, pull out that webcam and put that thing up in that thing. Child, I had to went in my little drawer of junk, found that webcam that I purchased like 2 weeks ago, and I put that thing up in that thing. And don't y'all know, that thing had worked. That thing had worked. When I had unwrapped that thing, when I had initially got it, it wasn't giving me no type of life, no type of liberty, and no type of luxury. It wasn't giving me nothing. Now all of a sudden it wouldn't work. So I don't know whether it needed time to fast. I don't know whether it needed 3 days in the grave and it needed to resurrect in order to be, you know, at its prime time. But it's working now. And I can't wait to see what the quality looks like, because, you know, I ain't used it yet. But I'm going to probably use it tomorrow in the Patreon and everything. But I love you guys. You guys have a good night. And I will talk to you guys later, okay?